Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of this training. In this session, we will be discussing about CCMS alert monitoring. CCMS means Computing Center Management System. This is one of the very interesting topic in SAP basis. We will see how we can use CCMS alert in order to monitor the SAP system, and we will also see the standard facility which is available in SAP system for the CCMS monitoring. Also, we will see how we can create our own alerts in the coming sessions. And in general, if you see, SAP recommends you to use SAP Solution Manager for the central monitoring. However, this Solution Manager also pulls out the information from CCMS. So it's quite interesting to see the CCMS. Actually, you can monitor multiple systems from one specific CCMS. So you can connect to different systems and you can centrally monitor from one place. It's quite interesting. So we will see also the other possible uh, monitoring facilities available in SAP systems in the coming sessions. First of all, we need to understand why do we need to monitor the SAP systems? Because as you know, the SAP system provides a core business functionality for your organization. So you have to ensure that SAP system is always running efficiently in order to cope up with your business process and business needs. The stability of the system is very important for the entire organizations, and you also need to make sure the security also is being kept intact. So that's the reason why we do this monitoring quite often. As a basis consultant, this is our responsibility, that is your responsibility, to monitor the system regularly, keep it efficiently. It's not only for like fixing the issues. In order to have the performance, we also need to monitor the performance. It is very important. You need to do the performance monitoring in a regular basis to make sure that the business transaction, the business process are running efficiently. How do we do this monitoring? That's what, using the central and the cross system monitoring, because in a system landscape, it is not only SAP you will have in your system. You will have SRM, you will have CRM, BI systems. All the systems in the underlying technologies, you are using NetWeaver. So you can connect everything together using one CCMS monitoring, and then you can monitor from one central place. Then this CCMS actually helps you to create alerts if there is an error. Basically, if you go to different transaction, for example, I wanted to check the CPU performance and I wanted to check the memory performance, then you need to go to different monitoring transaction codes where you can monitor the performance. But it will be quite difficult if you do it separately for each systems and each transaction, for even for a single systems, and you go to each and every KPIs, that performance indexes of this particular systems, and to monitor this one for each system separately, quite difficult. So in CCMS, what we can do, we can put all this thing together. Then you can create some kind of alerts. Let's say you create some threshold. If this threshold goes from one particular value, then you say we need to have a warning message in this time. Then if it goes to this level, that should be a alert, which should be a error saying that okay, there is a problem. These kind of thresholds you can set in the CCM alerts. That's an interesting part of this CCM alerts. There is a component called our SAP underscore basis in the SAP system. These components includes in all products of SAP where it can integrate with the CCMS. So the integration part of all SAP components is being already taken care of. That means any component which works in SAP system which can integrate with your CCMS, which can provide outputs to CCMS, it can be integrated with the CCMS. Otherwise, what we have to do is, for example, I wanted to check the operating system file system is full or not. This is also one very critical things, because many of times that you will create a lot of trace files and alerts, and many times we will keep monitoring the systems, but we forgot to monitor the operating system, whether we have enough space in the operating system in the hard disk or not. So this kind of alert, you can set it in our CCMS for, let's say, if it goes to 80% occupied, then we need to have a warning message. Then we can take some action on that. If it goes more than 95%, then you need to have an error message. Then we can take action on that. So these kind of alerts. So if you go to operating system by yourself, then you need to calculate this manually. How much is percentages occupied and not occupied. Here, since we have a full-fledged ERP system, we can also use this ERP system to monitor the zone performance. Okay, that is the interesting part of CCMS, and it's also help to provide information on cross-system landscape. When there is an error occurs, then for example your RFC calls and a lot of synchronous RFC which is not performed, these kind of informations you can monitor using CCMS. And the tool which we use for this one is of course CCMS alert monitoring infrastructure to monitor the entire system landscape. This is a way we can monitor the SAP system. However, we can also monitor the SAP system in different transaction codes. We will also see some of the transaction codes, how we can monitor this one. CCMS also will take you to the specific transaction code if there is an error. But in most of the cases, if you like to, as a basis consultant, you like to drill down actual problems in the SAP system, then you need to understand the basic technology of each of this transaction code. What is the information available? Then you can drill down. Actually, as you know, the diagnosing part of your SAP system or diagnosing part of any errors which comes in the system is again depends on the each individuals. If you understand the concept behind each of the system, then it will be quite easy for you to diagnose based on your own way how this problem can be fixed and what is the problem behind that. In this diagram you can see the CCM monitoring architecture, whereas if you can see we have data collectors which is available in all SAP products, or we can say in all SAP standard products in the ABAPs which is already available, and also have data collectors for different data sources. For example, let's say we have an operating system. Okay, for operating system you need to have information from the operating system itself. So for that we have a data supplier which is called SAP OS call, which is actually runs in the SAP system itself. This OS call program, what it does is it runs in the operating system. Whatever information or whatever calls which goes to operating system, or what you need some information from operating system, this particular program will collect this information, interact with SAP. If you go to our SAP, then we can see that this is our SAP system. If you go to task manager, SAP OS call, let me sort this one, then you can see, yeah, here you can see this is SAP OS call.exe, that means OS collector.exe. This program is not only for CCMS, yeah, this please don't misunderstand, this is not specific for CCMS, yeah, this is for the entire operating system. It does a lot of things. So like this is for the Windows. Like this we have for Unix and different operating systems. Yeah, this basically this is one of the data supplier for CCMS. That's what I mean to say. Like this we have data suppliers for database, and we have also data supplier for R3 with this basically in your ABAP. That's what I said, this SAP underscore basis. That how do we see that? How do we see the components? It's again a interesting part in SAP. If you go to login, so if you wanted to see the components installed in any SAP system, you go to systems and go to status, and you can see the SAP system data. Yeah, this is quite important. We have quite a lot of informations here. You can see the client which we are logged in. This is the user, this is a language, and this is the previous logon of this user which we right now logged in, and this is the logon time. This is the system time. Okay, and right now the system is running in this time zone CET. Okay, and this we already know, and this here we have some system data. The system data, we have component version. Right now the system which we are demonstrating is SAP ECC 6. So if you wanted to see the components, if you simply click here, then you can see the software components installed in this particular SAP system. This is very important here. Let's say we have SAP underscore ABAP. This is for the cross-client components. It's an ABAP stack exactly, and SAP underscore basis. This is the basis component. Here only this CCM and its agents and all this thing will reside. Okay, and we have Solution Manager plugin. Solution Manager, as I said, Solution Manager is a separate product which is coming from SAP. For your information, this Solution Manager is a free product. Basically, whoever have SAP system, they can implement the Solution Manager without any additional cost. The Solution Manager can be integrated with any SAP system, whereas you can also do quite a lot of operations with the Solution Manager. You can monitor the system, you can do transports, and you can also do service desk activity, like kind of raising the tickets and stuff like this. But the Solution Manager is altogether is a separate topic. There is a lot of modules like change management and transports, and you can also do bug fixing with Solution Manager. You can do project management with Solution Manager. Project management means implementation of SAP systems. Like this, you can do project management. There's quite a lot of topics in Solution Manager. It's a separate topic altogether, but as a basis consultant, you also need to know a little bit of Solution Manager, how to connect the Solution Manager, but it's a separate topic. Here is that we have a plugin which is anyway implemented. These are all the components which presently available. We have BW, API, HR. There are quite a lot of components presently available in the systems. Okay, and each components will give you the release version, what is the support pack level, and what is the highest support package presently available. Okay, this is how you will see the components in our SAP system. Okay, then you have installation number for the systems, and this is the license expiry date, how long this has been licensed, and this is Unicode enabled or not, if this system is Unicode enabled. And here also you can see a lot of information, what is the operating system it's running, and machine type, what is the machine type, and this is the server name, and this is the platform ID, and what is the database. It's an Oracle database 10.2.0.1.0, the name of the database and the host name of the database, and who is the owner of this particular database. So you have a lot of information here. Okay, for R3 side, that the SAP underscore basis is the one who is going to collect these informations, and you also have information which is collected from non-SAP systems, like different kind of non-SAP system. If they can provide a data supplier to CCMS, then we can integrate that non-SAP system to CCMS. That non-SAP system means the systems which is somehow related to SAP. You may sometime need to monitor this one. If you would like to monitor this, you can monitor that. Also, it has API, which using this API you can also do further developments in the CCMS views, and how you can also use this API for your further developments. And this is the API which will be anyway used for your monitoring here. The monitoring structures of this CCMS is used by this particular API. This part, if you can see, this data collectors, what it does is it's regularly collects this data, and the data will be saved in some part of this particular tables in the form of tables entries. So this data is regularly collected, and you can keep this information for your statistical reporting, and then you can analyze it later. This is the way the CCMS works. Now here we can see the monitoring structure. How this monitoring structure is been operating in inside the SAP systems. If you see here, that you can see the SID, that is the SID of the central system, where you can have the CCMS, and you can also see you can have the APO, BW, and CRM system. Then we have the host system, SID with the instance number. Then it collects it drill down to operating system. You can see disk and CPU, and the CPU usage and another parameters of CPU, and then you can also see the buffer and swap space, hit ratio, and we have MTE, that's monitoring tree element. That monitoring tree element describes that structure in the way you like to monitor these alerts. Yeah, that's MTE's job. Okay, then we will have under the MTE, then you have monitoring object and monitoring attributes, and the database also we all also collect information from the database and the backup and what is the performance of the database, is kind of these informations. Yeah. And in general, you can actually in the system you can use the transaction code called RZ20. Using this transaction code RZ20, you can monitor the CCMS alerts. So if we go to our SAP system, okay, we are in our SAP system. If we go to RZ20, okay, here you can see different kind of monitors which is available, different kind of monitoring sets. Okay, CCMS monitoring sets which is available. We can use this one to monitor. Okay, this is a standard sets which is available, which is given by SAP. We can also create our own CCMS alert monitoring sets, because most of the cases maybe you wanted to have your own way of method of monitoring it, that we can do that one. Presently, let's see how we can use the standard ones. Yeah, if you can see, this is the structure which we are going to use in the monitoring. Then if you see here, we have the subtree of monitoring the tables, for example here. Then we have monitoring tables and the target tables and columns. And maybe if I go to the next one, it's here. So this is the alert monitoring structure which we have seen. Yeah, this is the view. This is called one view. Okay, this is an entire system landscape. You can see here the entire system you can monitor. This is our SID of the system. Okay, this is called monitoring tree elements, different tree elements. Then inside the tree elements you have objects. Okay, so we have the view. Inside that we have the tree elements, which is called tree nodes. Inside that you have monitoring object. Okay, for example, this is optimizer statistics is an object, yeah, which represent the physical or logical object. And inside the object you have the monitoring attribute, what you are exactly monitoring. Okay, which receives the data in many, which is actually gets the data and creates the alerts. Okay, so let's go to our SAP system again. Here, if you go here, if you can see, these are all the standard templates which is delivered by SAP. As I said, if you go to SAP CCMS monitoring template, okay, and here you can see available performance overview, background processing, buffers, communication, database. You can check the database, how the database working if you wanted to monitor the specific ones. And if you want to monitor the entire system, you just click here, which gives you the option to monitor the entire system. Now if you see, in our system is already red, there is some serious problem in our system. Okay, if you open it here, you can see you can drill down to different nodes of this particular SAP system. Okay, we have application server, R3 server, database seems to be fine, client based activity seems to be fine, communication seems to be fine, system configuration also seems to be fine. So let's open the R3 services. What is the problem with our R3 services? If you see here, we have dialog process, we have dialog, background, spool and update. Spool and update seems to be fine, and we have warning in the background. If you see this, the warning, it says no value reported in last 20 minutes. Seems to be there is no value coming from our OS collector or from the not the OS collector, actually from the SAP system. So that is the warning here. And here, what is the problem here? So there's some seems to be going from yellow it went to green. That means it was yellow before, now it's went to green. These are all warnings. Okay, now let's see our dialog. What is the problem? This is the system which has the problem. So we have, see, dialog means not everything is problem. We have to go to the particular element of that error, then only you know what is exactly the problem. Okay, so we cannot just come to a conclusion, okay, there is a problem with the entire dialog instance. No, we have to go down and see what is the actual problem. So we response time is fine, which is the one of the very uh, key element of your dialog instance. What is the response time? Yeah, whenever there is a problem with your dialog instance, first what we see, the performance of the dialog instance is identified using the response time. You can also see the response time in different ways. We will see that one. Actually, we in our previous sessions we seen how to create a logon group. You can see in a very quick way the response time from the logon group, because in the logon group you have a lot of servers together. So all these servers together you put in and you will calculate the response time. It's not for individual application. Individual application also you will see, if you want to drill down, if you want to see the entire system performance as a response time, then you can check it there. Maybe we open another one sessions. I can show you quickly. If you go to SMLG, and this information also captured in CCMS in some of these trees. Yeah, let's say for example this is the one we created. I wanted to see what is the response time of this particular group. This may have more than one servers. You simply click this and we have this button, load distribution. Select this. Here you can see response time 80 milliseconds, which is quite good. Okay, then you can also see the status. It's a very quick way of checking your SAP systems performance. Let's say you will have many system like quality and development system that you will really don't go and check the performance every day. You don't go to CCMS alert and start clearing the alerts and all these things in the development systems anyway. But again, this depends on how many developers you have in some bigger landscape. You have 300, 400 developers working on one system, then you have to really monitor that one. I'm not talking about that cases. If it's a very small systems, you are working in a small project, if you wanted to see the performance of this kind of system, then you can just simply go to the screen and check it. So if this is fine, then you can skip this one. Okay, that's a quick methods of doing that one. Okay, now let's come back to our sessions here. Here you can see response time is everything is fine. The problem what we have is logon load quality. Okay, so if in this case it gives only one which is red, which is I think logon load quality. When we are logging on, then this is something, seems to be some problem here. And we can, if you wanted to see the detail of this alert, you can simply open this one and see the properties. This based on the properties what we have set right now, what we are seeing is the standard SAP monitoring properties. You can see here the thresholds, how they set the thresholds, yeah, the attributes. So when it will change from green to yellow, from yellow to red, then 100, then 150, then back again. How do we reset it back? Yeah, and in general, if you see here, then you can see the details, the text you are going to put, quality of application server, and the load balancing. So it seems to be there is some problem with the load balancing when we created our user our group. So this seems to be a problem with the load balancing. So if you wanted to see the properties, you can see the properties, and see if you see the open alert, you can see the detail of the alert. Yeah, so if you right now this one is like we had 10 alerts, the current value being less than the threshold value. Here also we had 10 alerts, right now it was already clear. Okay, so current status, so this is the old alert and this is the current status. Okay, right now what is the status? If you open alert, this is the old ones. Yeah, we had 10 alerts, different alerts. You know, if you double click on that one, then you can see the detail of this each alerts. Yeah, so these are historical values, because meaning to say these are all the old values. We keep this for analysis purpose. Okay, however, let's assume that okay, right now okay, current status is fine, I don't want to see this response time. So, okay, I went back here. Sorry. Okay, let's assume maybe we can do it here. Let's assume they open alert. Right now for this one I have this, it's on red. So I wanted to check what is happened here. You can see there is a lot of almost everything is on red. So it's really a problem. Okay, so the load balancing is like the load balancing what we created. You can go and fix it from directly from here. If I double click here, sorry. So start analyzing method, if you go here, then you can directly go to our SMLG. Okay, that's the load balancing where we do. So there is seriously some problem, we can fix it here. So let's assume that we identified the problem, then we fixed it, we came back. So we wanted to close this alert, then okay, now let me open the alerts. Okay, let's select this. Let's assume that I fixed that one. Okay, let me open this, open the alerts. Now once you fixed everything is fine, I wanted to complete this alerts. So if I select this alert and say complete, this alert is completed. So I wanted to complete all the alerts, like all. Let's assume that I fixed it and complete the alerts. Now all the alerts is completed. Okay, then it's, if you refresh, there is no more alerts, everything is fine. It comes back. Now if you see here, it's already gone to green. Okay, like this. The otherwise the what happens is this alert will stay as red, then you don't know when you fixed it or not. So once you fix that issue, you go and complete the alerts. Okay, you can open it again. You can see the, so the alert history, if the alert history is basically, if you wanted to find out what you have done before, then you can still, whether this problem occurred before, then you can go and see the alert history, and you can also see some of the alerts have been completed automatically, autocomplete. This autocomplete means that it is the alerts which is created, but it was completed automatically by the system, so that this particular element is ready for the next alert. Okay, otherwise this will be still red. So the system will automatically complete the this kind of inconsistency in the alerts, then it will ready for the next alert. Okay, that's what it means. So for example, if you want to go to the specific alert, if you want to analyze what has happened in the specific alert, then you can simply select here and go to select, say, start analysis method. Then it will go to that specific element of the monitoring part. It will take you to that particular transaction directly, where you can analyze these ones. Let's say if I take the response time. Okay, this it took us to the SMLG, which we already know, right? So if I say test analysis, it will take us to the SMLG. Okay, then if let's say response time, we have a different transaction code called ST03N, which is one of the very famous transaction code in SAP basis. So if I say response time and say go to the test, presently no data available. Okay, this is the transaction code, workload monitoring. Okay, this is ST03N. This is took us to here, so that you can start analyzing it, the particular parameter, why it is been red, or with what is the problem with that. Okay. Okay, these are all some examples. You know, as you've seen here, you have a lot of parameters which has been already been delivered by SAP, that you need to go and work in this particular topic in detail. As you see, every elements of SAP which we are seeing, it has quite a lot of details. We are not covering the whole entire details like CCMS. The reason behind that is each topic have some specialty. So some people who will specialize only on CCMS, for example. Some people who will specialize only on database, some people who will specialize only on administration, somebody who will specialize on batch input monitoring and batch input administrations. So you have to go and see the detail of each specific topics whenever it's necessary. So if you want to specialize in this thing, then you need to go to CCMS and specialize the whole templates, how it works and how you can connect and everything. Because as you see in here, we have quite a lot of elements which we need to discuss. Yeah, we need to monitor, we need to see. If you wanted to go each and every element, then it will not be sufficient, our time will not be sufficient. Then this is again specialize how you are going to specialize in topic inside basis. Okay, so this is how we monitor the CCMS in RSet 20. Yeah, so we can also come to this one by using our menu path. If you go to tools and go to CCMS and then the CCMS control and monitor, and we have RSS 20. Okay, CCMS monitor set. Double click, then you can come here. Okay. Okay, with this we are coming to the end of the session. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.